Hello, welcome to In an Instant Pot. Today we're going to be cooking a sausage and potato soup. This is a nice, easy soup to make. Very tasty, very hearty, not too expensive to make, and it'll serve about 4 people with a decent portion. So let's have a look and see how we get on. So I'm going to show you what ingredients we've got. I'm afraid one of my cameras just broke beforehand, so I've just got 2 cameras today, not 3. But I will show you what I've got down here. So we've got some basic onions. We've got some little baby Jersey Royals and a couple of red potatoes as well. I just haven't got quite enough there. Probably about 1.5 pound in total of potatoes. We've got a little bit of butter. That's to cook the onions in a minute. I've got 6 sausages here. They're actually black pudding sausages. I've got some pepper. I've got some lazy garlic because I'm just lazy. I can't be bothered. A bit of salt, some mixed herbs, and finally we've got some soft cheese, an equivalent to Philadelphia or something. I find that one is actually, I think, Aldi's own or Lidl's own, and it's about 65p compared to Philadelphia, that's about £2, so a lot cheaper than that. Um, Obviously, over here, as you can see, I've got my Instant Pot ready. Those who haven't got an Instant Pot, this can still be made on the stove top, but it'll take you a lot longer. This has got about 11 minutes cooking time. So obviously that is a lot shorter than what you'll be using. I've also got some bone broth. So anybody who followed me on the last video will know that I made some bone broth. Well, in here you can see hopefully just how jelly-like that went. So I'm going to be using a litre of that and about another quarter to half a litre of warm water just to thin it down. So I'm not going to be adding much salt and pepper to this because it's all in the broth. If you haven't got any broth, you can always use, yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you haven't got any broth, then you can always use a couple of stock cubes. Again, you want about 1.5 litres overall of fluid, but it all depends on the rest of your ingredients. Yeah, you can go slightly over, slightly under with the potatoes. You can use shallots rather than onions. You can use red onions. Whatever you want to do, really. There's a lot you can make. So as I said, this is going to take about 11 minutes actual cook time. In the modern pressure cookers, such as the Instant Pot, there will be a few minutes to let it get to temperature. And then all of a sudden, the vent will lift and it'll be at pressure. It'll cook for 11 minutes. Then we need to release the pressure, which will take a couple of minutes. And then Bob's your uncle, you've got a very, very tasty, hearty soup. The potatoes will have fallen apart, which is great. And yeah, let's make a start. So let's go down here. So there we have it. Um, so the first thing you need to do is get your onions and just chop the bottom off, chop the top off, and give them a bit of a peel. Now then, as I said, I like to cheat when I cook a bit. So I actually have a little machine here that will save me crying on stream, and it'll just make life a lot easier. These choppers are absolutely brilliant for chopping things like onions and peppers and anything else that's awkward. And you can get either a fine or a quite a strong wide variant. So all I do is chop my onion into quarters. Nothing exciting. And I bring along my gadget. So as you can see, it's got a coarse choice slicer. You just go like that, and it's chopped. Much faster than you actually using a knife. So there we go. And inside you can see I've got some chopped onions. As I said, if you want it wider, you can do. If you want it, you can get a finer length. It's totally up to you. But, the good thing about this one is it keeps it inside as well. So that's good. So again, what we did, chop the top off, chop the bottom off, give it a peel. While you're peeling, you can sing a happy song or two. Onions, onions, who's gonna eat them? Who's gonna eat them raw today? Not me, not me, because I don't like onions rawy. So again, just chop it into quarters. And you put it into your little machine. And there you go, you had to go through like that. So that's good. Let's clear that up. And that can go to the side. So if you want to use the other onion, you can just chop it normally, like you would. And that can also be added, just for those who haven't got a little gadget. So there we go. Done. We'll come back to those in a minute. It's all about the prep at the moment. So what do we have next? Well, obviously, as I said, we've got a load of potatoes. So let's get the potatoes. I've got these baby royals because these are nice size to use. Change knife. Don't need the onion. And we've also got these red onions as well, so red potatoes. So with the red potatoes, you're just going to make them into sort of inch dice like that. Don't need to peel them because it's all going to go into the soup and it'll all taste absolutely wonderful. So there we go, just chop them like that. And then you can see we've got all these little potatoes and just halve them. That's all we're going to do, is just halve them But so it doesn't really matter if it's a perfect potato or not. As long as you're not getting anything bad in it, then we're all right. Thank you for your comment, Jen Singh. Just seen that. Um, much appreciated. If anybody wants to know anything, please feel free to watch and shout out anything into the chat. Always appreciated. Some of these are so small, I'm not chopping them. It is time for sausage soup. Sausage soup for me and you. Oh, that's one gone. I'll come back to that one later. So as you can see, I'm no chef. I mean, I have actually worked in the food business before, but the Instant Pot just makes things so much easier. So there you go. Got your potatoes all chopped and ready. So there's only one bit more to do to prep, and that's to actually chop your sausages. So just move that out of the way. Just swap things around and I'll get my board for the sausages. We'll always use a separate board when using raw ingredients like meat or fish. So, as I said, these are a decent quality black pudding sausage. I've had them in the fridge for a little while, in the freezer, sorry. And we've just had them defrosting overnight. Just let me wash my hands. And this time, all we're going to do is we're going to chop them into, I don't know, 3 or 4 pieces each. Get a little bowl to pop them into. Right, it's easy. You can either use scissors like I do, like that. Like that, dead easy. Basically look like little meatballs. And once they're all in there, well, that's great because actually we're ready to start cooking now. Can you believe we're already nearly at full cook time? So, dead easy. So, there we go. Go in the wash. That can go in the wash. So you can see just how easy it is to get prepped. We've prepped the onions, we've prepped the potatoes, we've prepped the sausage. The rest is actually all cooking. So I'm just going to change camera angle and I'll see you at the Instant Pot. So there we go. So we're now actually at the Instant Pot. Now then, unfortunately, as I said, I've lost the camera this morning, which is a shame. But effectively, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be switching on my Instant Pot onto saute on high. So that'll take a minute or two to actually get through. And then once it's warmed up, what we'll do, we'll add the butter, and then we'll start frying off the onions. Something very easy, something most people can do in a pan. And once we've fried off the onions, then we can add in the potatoes. Then we'll add in the stock with some water, a few herbs, some garlic, and then after that we'll cook it for 11 minutes. Oh no, what I forgot about cooking the sausages, didn't I? Need to cook the sausages after the onions, but the onions can stay in. Got to brown the sausages off first, obviously. Then the potatoes, then the stock. Let it cook for 11 minutes. Release the pressure, and after we've released the pressure, then we'll be able to add the cream cheese at the very end. So yeah, so while that's going to heat, I'll talk a little bit about next week. Next week on Monday, again at 10 o'clock UK time, I'll be cooking a marinara sauce again in the Instant Pot. Oh, thank you, Jen Singh. I had forgotten about the spinach. I need to add the spinach as well at the end before we cook it. I'm glad somebody's awake. Yeah, so next Monday we're going to be making a marinara sauce. And on the Tuesday, we're going to have a shorter stream, but we'll be using that marinara sauce, and we'll be making a sort of a pasta. Not quite sure which pasta I'm going to use yet, but we'll be making a pasta. So fingers crossed that'll go well. And then hopefully from the week after, on the Monday, I'll be doing something else in the Instant Pot itself. And then I might start doing on a Tuesday a quick food stream, and that's the best I can describe it as, using the Instant Pot. Using the air fryer. Now, I haven't used the air fryer much, so it's going to be very, very much the blind leading the blind. But it's also going to be helpful to see what works and what doesn't work. So, it's nearly at heating now. It's nearly fully heated, the Instant Pot. I just had a check. It's 2/3 done. So that'll be good. So, there you go. That beep says it's ready to go. So I'm going to switch over to the Instant Pot itself, and I will see you there in a minute. So here we are at the Instant Pot. So first things first, butter. Hopefully that's a nice searing sound, not too loud. Okay, thanks for joining me, Jen Singh. Hopefully you can catch up later. So you can see it's starting to foam very quickly. So we're going to be cooking the onions in this. One thing I recommend for when you're cooking with the Instant Pot is definitely get a wooden spoon. Wooden spoons are the best thing. If you can get one with a flat bottom, even better. Right. So the butter is now melted. Let's add in our onions. So the onions just need to sweat for a few minutes. Just so you don't want them to burn. But they should start going a bit translucent and maybe a little bit nutty in taste, a bit of golden brown. keep on stirring them so they don't stick, because they do stick a bit in this Instant Pot. However, we'll be getting rid of that later. Some people say to deglaze the pan with a bit of alcohol, but as I don't really cook much with alcohol, I just use a bit of stock or even a bit of water, just to make sure it's good enough. So you can see it's getting, cooking the onions. You can still hear it sizzling, and hopefully you can see them going a little bit more translucent than they were. I might have to add on the fan, so just bear with me. Hopefully that's not too noisy in the stream. Meanwhile, I'm just going to get some warm water. As I said, just to thin down stock. Kettle is on. Sorry for the noise. They're starting to look good. It's time to add the sausages now. I literally put all the sausages in. That's it. And let them brown away. Again, just make sure to keep on stirring every now and again and turning everything so it doesn't stick. I mean, if you want to add in anything else, you can do. You can add in mushrooms, just a couple to give it a bit of earthiness, or maybe change it to a sweet potato rather than a normal potato. That would be interesting. I wouldn't add in turnip or swede because they're a little bit harder to cook. They'd take a little bit longer, so that's not a good idea. So what will happen in this thing? The sausages will start falling apart. But I've used black pudding sausages because I prefer the taste. It just gives an extra bit of something in the background. Really tasty. But you can use normal pork sausage or a pork and apple. Make it a little bit sweeter. So you might be able to see at the bottom of the pan starting to stick a bit. So I haven't been turning that enough. That's the one thing about the Instant Pot is when it's set on saute mode, it really, really sautés at a high temperature, at high speed. And that's what I like about it, because I want things cooked very quick. This is going to take, I don't know, maybe another 3 minutes just to get the sausages slowly going. They're not actually cold. When I did take them out of the fridge a couple of hours before this stream, so they're not straight from the fridge, and the same with any other veg and everything else. I took it out beforehand, because otherwise it gets a bit hard. So yeah, that's starting to look good. Fingers crossed this will taste good as well. Right, that's my kettle boiled. So you can see there now, it's all stuck to the bottom. So I'm going to add a little drop of water. And we'll scratch away at the bottom. You don't want to lose any of that because it's flavour at the end of the day. So there we go. So now let's add the potatoes. So you literally pour the potatoes in. That's it. How simple is that? You don't stir it there. You can if you want. Now I'm going to add in the stock. So as I said, this is a very gelatinous stock. This is a bone broth that I made last week. Now that's quite thick, so that's why I'm going to add an extra little bit of warm water, like that, just to thin it down a bit. And you can see already that stock has now pretty much gone. Waste not, want not. So it's at this point we add a little bit of flavour in. So a bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then finally 2 more ingredients. Probably a teaspoon of mixed herbs. So there we go. 2 good teaspoons of grated garlic. And then give that a bit of a stir. There we have 1 more ingredient to add. Just 1. And that is some spinach. Now I've got a big bag here. I've got a 250 gram bag and I'm going to use all of it. It looks like a lot, but actually it'll create a big lid, and you don't stir this. Just leave it on the top, and it actually helps to create the actual pressure because it's creating another lid. So that effectively is the actual meal made. All we need to do now is cancel the saute on the Instant Pot. We add the lid, and we go to pressure cook, and we do it on high, and we only do it for 11 minutes. Sorry for the beeps. So 11 minutes on high, and then press start, and that's it. So now it's going to get to temperature, and it'll heat up, and then it'll cook for 11 minutes, and then we'll have to release the pressure. There you go. So as you can hear, everything's very, very easy in this Instant Pot. It's very quick. Meals can be quite cheap. A lot of us using a lot of veg. Obviously, use the stuff that's in season or whatever you've got around you. I mean, we're lucky at the moment. We've got the little Jersey Royals, which are absolutely perfect for this dish because they're only tiny. Um, I couldn't get another packet, but I was able to use just some normal red potatoes that I had in stock. So that was okay. Okay. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to be making a pasta dish next week. It's going to be a 2-day stream. Monday to make the marinara sauce, and then a Tuesday to actually make it into a pasta dish. That should be tasty. Again, very simple, very quick. Um, on my Facebook site, I'll add on what ingredients we need. I'll try and get the actual quantities this time. I'm going to probably add the required items onto the recipe stream of my website, www.inaninstant-pot.com. And then once we've cooked it, then I'll add the recipe. I will hopefully link in the video of this once I've edited it and put it on YouTube. So anybody who wants to watch on YouTube can watch it as well. It'll be on Twitch for probably another 3 to 4 weeks, I think. So that's useful. So at the moment, the Instant Pot is still heating. I don't know if you can see that from there. But basically, this screen tells you here it's on. And up here, it says preheating. It'll beep when it comes to temperature. And there are 4 bars. And once it's completed all 4 bars, then you know it's actually cooked. You get my serving bowl ready. Not that I need it yet. All the trimmings I'll put in our compost heap. That's the other good thing about having a compost. If you're using all the shells and egg shells and skins and just bits of veg that you don't quite like the look of, and just add it to the compost heap. Great stuff. We're lucky we've got chickens, I think, as most people know. And we add that to the compost heap. And it makes a very, very good compost. Excellent for growing veggies. It takes 12 months to decay properly. But, this time next year, this month's stuff will be ready to plant out. Great. Don't waste much. Don't like waste at all. That's why I made the bone broth, because we had all the bones from like some lamb and a bit of chicken last time. So I thought, well, I might as well make a bone broth. So I did, and you saw how gelatinous it was. It tasted almost like soup when it was cooking. Absolutely delicious. But when it cools down, it goes very jelly-like. And as I said, we only used probably a litre of the actual bone broth stock, and we had another half a litre of water. So in the pot, there'll be about 1.5 litres. 1.5 litres, 2 to 3 onions, depending on the size. 1.5 kilos, maybe a kilo, maybe 1.5 kilos of potatoes. And if you want to add in carrots or whatever, add that in as well. But you just need to have a little bit more stock, unless you're replacing the potatoes with the carrots or parsnips or whatever. I did mushrooms in last time, and it gave it a nice earthy flavour, and it was absolutely delicious. Again, I used 6 black pudding sausages from the butcher. I recommend getting a high meat content sausage. I don't know if you can hear that, or see that. There's actually a bit of steam coming out now, which means it's about to beep and tell me it's ready to go, which is what we want it to do. And anybody who's watching this afterwards, if you want to get in touch with me, feel free, inanipot@gmail.com, or go on to my website, www.inaninstant-pot.com, or find me on Facebook, Instagram, all those type of things, and I'll be happy to answer any comments. I have started a new group on Facebook called In an Instant Pot, which I'm happy to say I've got about 20 members in the first week. which is really nice. I want that to be a real community site, purely so I can get to talk to people, know what you want me to do, and what you've done. If you've got any tips or hints or any problems, then please add them on there, and we can discuss them as a community. And if they're big issues or a common issue, then I'll bring it onto here. And every other Friday or so, I'm going to be having a little chat session anyway. And we'll be talking about any issues that people have brought up or anything that's gone on for me. Probably talk a little bit about my chicks. I said they are my world. I do like my little babies. They're good. You can see it wobbling at the back, little vent. So it's going to be very, very close. A little bit more steam coming out now. So that's good. There you go. It's just beeped. And the actual bar here. So you can't see that there. The bar has gone to cooking now. And you can see, or hopefully you could see, that it says 11 minutes on high, and it's pressure cooking. So the end of 11 minutes, it'll come back and it'll say, it'll beep away, and then it'll go on to automatically go on to keep warm. And keep warm, it'll slowly release the pressure. But that means while the pressure's there, it'll still keep on cooking, which you don't really want. You don't really want to keep on cooking on this one, because otherwise it'll literally go to mush and there'll be no texture at all. So on this version, you've got a quick release button at the back. You can flip that, and in a couple of minutes, all the pressure's gone. And once the pressure's gone, you'll be able to open it. But if you try to open it now, you'll tend to break the pot because you're pushing against a lot of pressure, and you'll burn yourself and hurt yourself. So that's not a good idea. So while that's cooking, I might as well get my cream cheese ready. I said it's just a basic cheap cream cheese. Yeah, it's an Aldi's Own. This is about 60 odd pence for a packet. And this is a 200-gram packet, and we're going to be using about half. Why is it these foil lids never come off how you want them? So that's all it is, just a bit of cream cheese. And it's the most obscure thing what happens. It's already got the meaty sausages in there, as I said. They'll give a really nice flavour, especially the black pudding. That gives it a bit more, a bit more strength and flavour. But when you add the cream cheese, something magical happens. You add in the cream cheese, you stir it in, and the colour changes of the whole soup because it makes it a little bit creamier. But all of a sudden, what tasted quite meaty now tastes really meaty. And it's down to the cheese. The cheese makes it meaty. I don't like cheese. As a rule, I don't like cheese. But adding that cheese to this makes it such a amazingly transformed, delicious dish. And I don't know what it is, but it is the cream cheese that makes it. I use the garlic and herb because I like garlic. There was a lot of garlic in the bone broth that I made. Please check back on YouTube and you'll find the video for bone broth. Well, how it turned out. And yeah, cream cheese. Because somebody explained to me why and how that actually works. Why does cream cheese make a soup taste meaty? Answers on a postcard, please. Well, not quite a postcard, but an email. That'd be brilliant. I'm guessing you could actually make this, as I said earlier, in a normal pan. It'll take a lot longer to cook. I would think it probably needs to be boiled for a good hour, hour and a half on the stove top. Uh, and even then, it might take longer. So it might be worth actually parboiling your potatoes first, start to get them soft. Because it still needs to be able to do it. But I don't know if the actual spinach lid will work in a pan. Because in the Instant Pot, all the pressure's going to get around it and actually suck it back in. It might be worth trying. And if anybody does try it, let me know if it works or not. So we're now at the halfway point of cooking. We've only got 6 minutes left out of 11. Goes so fast. Quite easy just to go and leave it. If I wasn't doing this online, I'd have had to sit down and watch something on telly or on YouTube. If anybody's got an Instant Pot, you'll see on YouTube there are thousands and thousands of recipes. And if you go on Google, there's many, many variants on all these thousands of recipes. I mean, my inspiration for a lot of the meals I use is a guy called Jeffrey Eisner, who does Press Your Luck. He's just brought out a new book, but I like his step-by-step Instant Pot because it's very, very simple to use. There's loads of photos, and it actually tells you in absolutely every phase how to do it and when to do it. So simple, really good cookbook, totally recommended. And if you go on my website, you'll see on the front page I've got a little picture of it. And if you click that picture, it'll take you over to Amazon, where you could get the book. If you do click through, it'll enable me to get a few pennies, as I'm trying to become an Amazon affiliate. So anybody clicking through, that would be really useful to me as well. Obviously, these streams aren't free to make. I'm trying to make them for you guys. Yes, I'll eat this, but some of the streams coming up I won't necessarily eat, but I don't mind because I think you guys need to know how to use it and see how good this Instant Pot really is. It is the best thing that I have got in the last few years for my kitchen. And I've got a Bamix stick, I've got Vitamix, I've got KitchenAid stuff, I've got the Instant Pot air fryer. But the Instant Pot Evo Plus, which is what I've got here, wow, that is a game changer. I've never had such a game changer in all my years cooking. And I've been cooking for a good 30 years. I've cooked professionally for a while. But this just makes it so easy. So anybody who's time conscious, I recommend looking at the Instant Pot. And there are other variants available of a modern multi-cooker. But if you a homeschooler and you haven't got much time, or you've got people in and out of work, you can always set the timer to go later. There's a timer on it. You can do all sorts in this thing. You can make rice. You can steam things. You can sous vide. You can even make yogurt. And I've made yogurt in it. It was a really nice natural yogurt that I made. It came out really thick, just as I like it. And you can do a bit of baking in it, which might surprise people. It's all in one pot. As you say, I fried off the onions before, and it fried them off at really quick. This pressure cooking, we've only got 2 minutes left, guys. Literally 2 minutes. And all we've got to do next is let it release all the steam, add in the cheese, give it a good stir, and that's it. We're done. Everything's done and it's all tasty. And it should be really good. Fingers crossed, it'll turn out well. This is a never failed for me. I've made this many times and it's never failed. And yeah, different uh, ingredients give it a different flavour, slightly different texture. But the mushrooms, I did it make it a bit more earthy. You know, you can add a carrot to make it a bit sweeter, as I said. But the overall flavour is delicious. But my favourite is doing it with the black pudding sausages. So you can hear that beeping, which means it's now ready to go. So let's go over to the cook cam. So you will see here the vent, and they've got a little metal vent here. So while that's raised, it means it's under pressure. So what we're going to do here is do what they call a quick release. And all of a sudden, all the steam will come out of here, and in a couple of minutes, it'll be ready to do the next phase. So as you can see, there's a lot of steam here. So it's starting to ease now. It's taken 2 minutes so far to release the pressure. Probably take another 2 minutes to fully go down. But it certainly shows just how much steam is in that pot. The older variants, you have to do a lot more manual. Uh, I must admit, I'm happy I got the new one with the quick switch, because the other ones is quite, you had to either get a spoon to toggle it on or off, whereas on the new ones it's just that flick of a switch and you don't get your hands burnt. And of course I don't want to get my hands burnt. Don't think anybody would. So it's slowing right down now. Just waiting for the metal vent to drop. Once that's dropped, then we can go in. And there we go, it's dropped. So now we can take the actual lid off and to press cancel, then open. And you'll see inside what it looks like. So you can see all the spinach has come into it now. Like that, you see there. So you can see it's a nice colour. The spinach is all melted in, but it needs that magic touch. So I need to get cream cheese in. So here we go. I'm going to use just about half of this cream cheese, like that. Add it in. There we go. And then watch. The cream cheese will melt as you stir it. It'll go to nothing, but it's made it a little bit creamier in colour, as you can see. So now it's time to get a bowl and serve it up. And there is the finished article. And I think I need something to try it with. So a very, very nice consistency. You see? If you can see that. There you go. Got a bit of spinach, potato, lots of sausage. And it is delightful. With the Instant Pot, you can literally, it has a keep warm function. So you can just put it back, put the lid back on, and press keep warm, and that's your lot. Hi, Jensing, good to see you back. It does look good, and yeah, I'm very happy with the results. It's very, very hot. The potatoes are broken down okay. Still kept a little bit of the shape. The sausages are like little meatball nuggets, is the best way I can describe it. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. That is sausage and potato soup. The recipe will be on my website later on this week. If anybody wants to speak to me or get in touch with me, email me at inanipot@gmail.com or get onto my website, www.inaninstant.pot.com, or find me on Facebook, where I've got a Facebook group called In an Instant Pot. And I hope to see you guys next week, next Monday, for a marinara sauce. All I'm going to say now is enjoy the chicks.